What is up, guys? It's your boy, your name, back with another video. And let me tell you, today's video is going to be intense. We're talking about life or death situations, about people pushed to the absolute limit, about hostages. We've all seen the movies, right? But what about the real-life hostage situations where people couldn't speak freely, where every word was monitored, every move watched? How do you call for help when you're completely silenced? Well, get ready to be amazed because today, we're diving deep into the top 10 secret messages sent by hostages. These are stories of incredible bravery, resourcefulness, and straight-up ingenuity that will leave you speechless. So buckle up, smash that like button, and let's do this thing. Imagine being trapped, terrified, with no way to call for help. That was the reality for Robert Morse. No relation to the code, crazy, right? Back in the 70s. Kidnapped and held in a secluded cabin, Robert knew his captors were watching his every move. But what they didn't know was that Robert had a secret skill Morse code. Using his knowledge, Robert started sending out desperate pleas for help. He tapped on the plumbing pipes, hoping the vibrations would reach someone, anyone, who could understand his message. Days turned into weeks, but Robert never gave up hope. And you won't believe what happened next. His faint tappings were actually heard by a neighbor who was an amateur radio enthusiast. The neighbor deciphered the code, contacted the police, and well, let's just say Robert's captors were in for a rude awakening. This story is a testament to the power of hope, the will to survive, and the unexpected ways we can use our skills in a crisis. This next story takes us back to World War II, where resourcefulness was a matter of life and death. We're talking about resistance fighter Marie-Josephine Dubois. Captured by the Nazis, Marie knew she couldn't speak freely, so she got creative. Using a smuggled pen and a scrap of paper, she scribbled a message detailing her location and the identities of her captors. But where to hide it? This is where it gets interesting. Marie, in a stroke of genius, decided to slip the note into the sole of her shoe. The plan was risky, but she was desperate. During a routine inspection, Marie intentionally stumbled, hoping to dislodge the note without arousing suspicion. And guess what? It worked! A sympathetic guard discreetly picked up the note and, risking his own life, passed it on to the resistance. Marie's message helped save not only her life but the lives of many others. Talk about thinking on your feet. In the world of espionage, codes are everything, and sometimes even hostages find themselves using them to survive. Take the case of James Bond. Just kidding, it wasn't James Bond, but it might as well have been. We're talking about John, a businessman kidnapped during a trip abroad. His captors allowed him to send a letter back home, hoping to extract a hefty ransom. Little did they know, John had a plan. In his letter, seemingly filled with innocent updates for his family, John hid a secret message. He used a simple substitution cipher, replacing every third letter with the one that came before it in the alphabet. Back home, John's wife, thankfully a lover of all things mystery and puzzles, realized the letter was more than met the eye. She cracked the code, revealing a hidden message that gave away John's location and the captors' plans. The authorities swooped in, rescuing John and leaving his captors utterly bewildered. Who knew a love for puzzles could save the day? Chapter 4. The Subtle Hand Signal. Sometimes the simplest actions can speak volumes. That was certainly the case for Sarah, a young woman taken hostage during a bank robbery. Trapped amidst the chaos, Sarah knew any overt attempt to communicate with the police outside could have deadly consequences, so she had to get creative. Remembering a self-defense class where she learned about discreet signaling, Sarah used a simple hand gesture, a subtle but repetitive movement of her fingers, to discreetly convey help in sign language. An observant police negotiator trained to spot even the slightest cues noticed Sarah's subtle signal. This small act gave the police valuable intel, allowing them to formulate a plan and eventually storm the bank, rescuing Sarah and the other hostages. This story proves that even in the most terrifying situations, a little knowledge and quick thinking can make all the difference. Chapter 5. The Secret Message in a Drawing. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and for 8-year-old Timmy, that couldn't have been truer. Abducted from his backyard, Timmy was held captive in a remote location. Desperate to escape, Timmy knew his only hope was to somehow get a message to the outside world. But how? His captors were always watching. Then, one day, Timmy was given some crayons and paper to keep him occupied. Seizing the opportunity, Timmy started to draw. But this was no ordinary drawing. Hidden within the seemingly innocent picture of a house and trees, Timmy cleverly incorporated a message. He drew a red car, the same kind his abductors drove, parked beside a distinctive-looking tree that he knew was near his location. When the authorities found Timmy's drawing, they immediately recognized the significance of the details. They were able to use the clues in the drawing to pinpoint Timmy's location and reunite him with his overjoyed family. Chapter 6. The Whispered Clue. Imagine being held captive, your every move scrutinized. For Amanda, that nightmare became a reality when she was kidnapped and held in a windowless room. Her captors, believing they had cut off all communication with the outside world, allowed a visitor, posing as a Red Cross worker, to check on Amanda. Little did they know, Amanda had been anticipating this moment. As the Red Cross worker leaned in, pretending to offer comfort, Amanda seized her chance. In a barely audible whisper, she revealed a crucial clue about her location. She mentioned a distinctive smell, a chemical odor she recognized from her captor's line of work. The Red Cross worker, actually an undercover agent, picked up on Amanda's whispered words. That seemingly insignificant detail about the smell was all the authorities needed. They were able to trace the chemical odor to a specific industrial area, leading them straight to Amanda's captors. Chapter 7. The Hidden Message in a Book. For Michael, a captive in a foreign prison, a book became his lifeline to freedom. Denied other communication, Michael got resourceful. He noticed a small collection of books. One classic novel caught his eye. Michael devised a plan. He meticulously altered the book. Using a pin, he created tiny dots under specific letters. These dots spelled out a message revealing his location. During a book donation drive, Michael sent out his altered book. A librarian noticed the unusual markings. She contacted the authorities. The message was decoded, leading to Michael's rescue. Chapter 8. The SOS Signal. We've all heard of the SOS distress signal, but this story takes it to a whole new level. Lost at sea after a storm, a group of friends clung desperately to their capsized boat. With no radio and dwindling supplies, hope was fading fast. Their captors? The unforgiving sea itself. But one of the friends, a seasoned sailor named Captain Jack, okay, his name wasn't really Captain Jack, but it sounds cooler, right? Had an idea. Using a mirror shard from the boat and his knowledge of Morse code, Jack started sending out SOS signals. He flashed the mirror towards the horizon, hoping against hope that someone, somewhere, would see their desperate plea. Days turned into nights and still there was no sign of rescue. Just when their spirits began to dwindle, a glimmer on the horizon. A rescue plane, alerted by Jack's persistent SOS signals, spotted the tiny mirror flashes. Chapter 9. The Secret Message in the Food. Ingenious plans often hatch in unexpected places. Emily, a chef, was kidnapped and forced to cook. She saw an opportunity. Her captors were creatures of habit. Emily prepared their favorite meal with a twist. She embedded a message in the food. Using colored ingredients, she spelled out help. Emily watched nervously. One captor ate the message, another noticed the arrangement. He pieced together the message. His curiosity was his undoing. Authorities were alerted and Emily was rescued. Chapter 10. The Hidden Message in a Song. Music has the power to move us, to inspire us, and in this case, to save lives. This incredible story revolves around a group of musicians kidnapped after a performance. Held captive in an abandoned theater, the musicians were allowed to continue playing their instruments. Their captors, ironically, enjoyed their music. Little did they know, the music was about to be their downfall. The band's leader, a talented pianist named David, devised a risky plan. During one of their forced performances, David started incorporating a coded message into his piano playing. He used specific musical notes corresponding to letters of the alphabet to discreetly spell out a message for help. To the untrained ear, it sounded like any other melody. But someone, somewhere, recognized the pattern. A music teacher, listening to a recording of the performance, noticed the unusual sequence of notes. Intrigued, he deciphered the hidden message and immediately alerted the authorities. The police traced the recording back to the abandoned theater, rescuing the musicians and putting an end to their ordeal. Outro, that's a wrap! Wow, guys, can you believe those stories? Talk about the power of the human spirit. These hostages stared down fear and used their wits, courage, and creativity to fight back. They remind us that even in the darkest of times, hope can flicker and the will to survive can overcome even the most challenging obstacles. So the next time you're feeling stuck, remember these stories. Remember the Morse code tapper, the hidden note in the shoe, the secret messages in drawings, whispers, books, food, and even music. You never know what seemingly ordinary skill might become your lifeline in a crisis. Thanks for watching. If you found these stories as incredible as we did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing content. Stay safe and see you in the next video.